Welcome back to Gold Derby. I'm Christopher Rosen. I'm so pleased to be joined by Maya Rudolph, a five-time Emmy Award winner with multiple acclaimed performances this year, including her lead role on the Apple TV Plus comedy series Loot, her Emmy-winning voice performance on Big Mouth, and her guest hosting appearance on Saturday Night Live. Just a few things, Maya, but I'm so excited to talk about Loot. The second season just wrapped up this week, and it was a fantastic season. I felt and like really felt like it took a step forward from what was great about the first season. You kind of like really focused in. So I guess in terms of like for you, the discussions after season one, like what were you excited about to explore in season two, and like how did you, kind of like want to level it up?
I mean, I think the first season is about establishing the characters and getting to know them and obviously getting to love them. And then I think once that playing field has been established, then you really get to have fun because then you can combine the characters, you know, it's like playing superheroes. You take your favorite ones and you do like different, combinations. And I think that's when these workplace comedies and shows that have like a great cast really, really to me start to pick up steam. It's so many of the shows that I watched, so many of my favorite comedies are like that. They, you really get to know the characters, but then once they get to know each other and really start building their relationships, I think is really like when the fun really kicks in.
And then how about for you getting to know Molly more in this season? I guess I feel like she's gone on a great arc. I love that. And I was struck by it. I think it's in I guess it's in the finale. Maybe there's that great after the shell explosion. You have that great conversation with Adam and
Mm.
talking about like what you want. I love that sequence because it's just like the setup to that obviously is very funny, but you're doing like real like character and like drama. I feel like or real acting and it's like real emotion there that maybe wouldn't work if you didn't do such a good job of setting that up throughout. I guess like how did
Mm.
you like what did you I guess learn about her or like how did you kind of like the way she was evolved and like how you evolved your performance I guess as she evolved.
I mean, we really, the thing that the kernel of the story is this woman just gets her whole world explodes. And so she's at a place in her life at the very beginning of the first season where everything she knows falls apart. And so that vulnerability and that sort of broken kind of like, part of her is kind of open during a lot of the first season. I think, Adam's character is such a great part of being able to showcase that vulnerability and like you can see that no matter how strong she's feeling or how much better she's feeling after their divorce, that can always still get under her skin and bother her. But I like that we established that vulnerability and that really human element of her that is having a hard time and dealing with hard things in her life, which I think is like the most relatable part of her, is that no matter what your problems are in your life, they're your problems. And we've all got them, and they don't have to be a messy divorce with a billionaire to relate. But I think it's that human element that grounds her really. And so establishing that early on right away in that first episode and the first season has always been a great touchstone for Molly. And I feel like now that everything's exploded, now she's getting to know herself by really investing in her life at the Wells Foundation and creating this new life. And so she's getting to know herself while she's getting to know all these new people in her life.
You mentioned like kind of the action figures going together. That's a fun thing about the show. And you have one of the action figures, or I found this season great. You have Anna Gasteyer coming back as Grace. I loved seeing you guys both together. It's very funny, and the dynamics of Molly and Grace are fantastic. And I guess like how exciting or like enjoyable is that for you to get to like kind of do that with Anna and explore those characters?
It's so exciting, being with someone you know so well and you know how to play with so well is such a luxury and such a joy and it just makes it better and better and better. Getting to invite her to come do that is such a thrill. It's so fun for me and she was so happy and I just think that was infectious. I mean, not to mention, I think we were just we do a lot of chattering. We can't stop like singing or making up stupid songs or making sounds. Or I think people around us were like, okay, we get it now. But I think there's something really lovely about that because you work so hard, um, and we've worked so hard together over the years, and I think that joined established thing that we've got to be able to bring that into a new environment is so I feel so lucky to be able to do that, and it's such a great magic trick to say like we know how to do this together, and then you bring it into a new environment and you can change it and make it something new, and it's so exciting, and it's kind of what makes it continue to be fun to to keep doing this, the different opportunities, the different environments to bring your skill set to.
You also have in this. I mean, like there was obviously a lot of great, like you said, like a lot of. I like that action. That's a great visual. I think that's really fun. The playing with the action
Mhm.
figures. But I was like, I love your work with Joel on this show. I find so great. And I was like, I got to speak to him earlier, and I was like, oh, like you have like you like with Anna and like all these other people. You have like a great. You're always like great with it match. But he's such a great match for you, and I love
Mhm.
the comedy dynamics you guys get to do together, and also like like the more character like the character growth and stuff too. But I guess like what was it like, or how has it been like evolving that with Joel, and also knowing that he's like such a he was obviously such a big fan of yours previously. So I think that's like really
Well,
great.
he's only mentioned that he was a big fan of mine very recently.
Okay.
He kept that under wraps for like 2 years. I don't know. I don't really know how that happened. He was like, by the way, like you're telling me this now, like while we're doing he told me in a press junket, which was hilarious. Like, by the way, I forgot to tell you that. But I think that he was feeling good, feeling safe, to he always makes me feel good about being like kind of the elder, which I love. But it's sweet. I mean, I think we wanted to find the best possible people for this show, and we loved Joel, and we just thought he'd be such a great. I knew that I really wanted whoever Nicholas was going to be such a great comedy partner. Um, and we knew that was going to be a fun dynamic. He was actually the first character that we cast.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's just, that relationship keeps growing into something that I love more and more and more. And we joke that we don't know if that they role play a lot. And we don't know if sometimes one's mommy and one's baby and one's baby and one's mommy. Sometimes I think they're both baby for sure. Um, but I love that. And it's those are some of the scenes that I really look forward to. We really understand them now. And I feel like they are the truest love relationship, I think, in Molly's life. And so it's been really fun to go through all the dynamics of this like unconventional, sweet, really screwed up relationship between the two of them.
You mentioned like what do you look like in terms of a comedy partner or something? Like what do you is there something that that you'll like vibe with somebody, or is it like do you kind of like what do you look for in that? Like
I just
like
feel like for comedy, I always feel funnier when when someone who I think is funny and who makes me laugh. It just it just makes me strive to be funnier, and it just kind of like clicks on something that makes it fun to kind of keep the ball up in the air. I don't know. I don't know. Every time I describe it, I'm like, is that what it is? Like, I don't know. I just think when I'm laughing is when I'm funnier. And I'm usually laughing when someone else is making me laugh.
I think that's good. I think that makes sense too. And
Yeah.
I feel like this show you're probably doing a lot of that because all the ensemble is so great. I could go through everybody, but I want to mention Nat Faxon too for Arthur. I love his dynamic with
Yeah.
you, and the characters' dynamics are really great. Obviously, the season ends on like a uneasy note for them, right? So hopefully we'll learn about more about that in season 3. But I guess just generally like how have you guys like how have you guys like worked or talked about that relationship on like and like how do you like kind of like like bring that to life on screen, you guys together?
I mean, Nat's another example of like, you know, somebody that I've truly known forever. I mean, I worked with Nat at the Groundlings. I think I met him when I was 24, something like that. Um, and we don't even think about it. We just have that thing that you have with an old friend that you just pick up right where you left off. And we hadn't worked together in a while and it didn't make a difference. There's just a natural, just kind of just tone to the way I don't know. Again, it's an I don't know because it's hard to say like what your thing is when you have chemistry with someone, but like because we're old friends and because we're old um improvising partners, we just know how to click into each other immediately and then you just go from there. And so like I said, kind of in the same way I was talking about it with Anna is like it's a new set, same tools, different location, different setup, and that kind of makes it like exciting again. Like you're trying something new, but like you have this foundation. And I mean, I think it's probably what's helped make me feel, just more comfortable and more confident in my work is like having established foundations has really helped me over the years. And not to say that I have to work with everybody I know, but um I think having had that camaraderie for so long with so many people over the years, like you really know how to build those foundations and they become so important for me.
And
And help me build that confidence.
and then do you get the like that's I think that's really smart and interesting. And then do you get to like having that foundation maybe help does that help you challenge yourself too then, I guess? Because you have the safety
Yeah,
of the foundation. Yeah.
for sure. I mean, I don't think you ever want to challenge yourself unless you're feeling comfortable. Or maybe you do. Maybe some people love that feeling of jumping out of a plane. Not this guy. But yeah, I think you definitely want to challenge yourself. I know, and for this season more than the first, I think we definitely I was always the person saying, let's go further, let's push it, let's be funnier, let's be, so yeah, I guess you're right. I guess that is part of it for sure.
It's definitely funnier, and it ends like I said, like it ends on a great note, and I'm so psyched for a third season, hopefully. So I guess like, what are your hopes for like another season of this, and like where it might go?
Yeah, I mean, we've established so much great stuff between the characters, and I would love to. I think the thing that's so cool about the show is that I feel like the possibilities are endless. So I feel like, having billions sounds like having a genie in a bottle that you can just rub. Like anything is possible, truly. And I can only imagine that if you're, you know, at that vantage point in your life of having, endless billions, you could, if you're bored, just get on your plane and go to Paris for an espresso.
Must be
I
nice.
It must be nice.
Maybe. I guess. I
I
don't know.
mean, I'm sure
Probably.
there are other issues, but
Yeah. I said at the top, you have these other two. Just briefly, you have like Big Mouth is obviously won Emmys for. It's an incredible comedy show. I think this was the seventh season, right? That we're in. So for you, how is that role and the voice work on that evolved? I guess for you.
I mean, I never expected to see Connie. First of all, Connie didn't exist when I signed on to the show. I was just playing Nick's mom, and I never expected, to be on the show this long. I never expected to have such a reaction to an animated character. I mean, Connie is so loved. We did this amazing um show recently for the Netflix is a Joke Festival. We did a Big Mouth Live at the Greek, and we got to do a live reading and we sang songs, and just to do the show in front of a live audience was such a thrill because we've never done that. And um the reaction was crazy. People really love the show, and it's hard not, there's something literally for everyone. And I play a monster who's a fictional hormone monster, and somehow that's relatable. And it's cool. It's such a cool project to be a part of. I never anticipated being a tattoo on anyone's body ever. I never thought that was ever going to happen for me in life. So
How many have you seen of those in real life?
A lot. Not in real life. I've seen pictures. There's a
Online.
lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Yes. And then like the full culmination was then I started to see drag queens of Connie, and then I got to sing with them and dance with them, and it was real full circle stuff and really cool, and like, to be a part of something that people are become that's a part of somebody else's life is pretty incredible. So
Yeah.
getting to see those things firsthand was really cool.
That's awesome. And then lastly, SNL. So I think this was your third time as host, and you had
Mm.
that great Mother's Day monologue that like immediately viral. I guess like for you coming back to host for a third time, how did it feel this time around compared to the other two times, and like just in general?
I felt great. I mean, I was so excited to do it and couldn't wait to do, Mother's Day stuff. And so I knew what I wanted to do for the monologue and, um, it felt great. I know that place so well. So going back to something that is so exciting. And I yeah, it was so fun. It was fun. It was just like I loved it.
With the Mother's Day with that monologue, like, do you know that's going to immediately hit, or are you just like, oh, I hope this works, or you're like, I kind of know this is going to work?
No, I didn't expect the reaction that it got. It got a pretty wild reaction, and people have called me mother everywhere I've gone since, which I'll take it.
Sure.
I love it. Um, yeah, I got on the plane the next day or whatever, and they were like, "Your seat is over there, mother." And it's been pretty amazing, but it it felt so good. I mean, I knew I wanted to do a monologue like that. I love using the room. I love classic SNL. I'm such a fan of classic SNL, and so I love when you have those moments. I've always loved watching the show when the old cast members came back. I loved when Steve Martin danced to the studio with Gilda, and I just I'm a fan. And it's my home, and I'm a member of this historical place, and I just love paying tribute to it and showing it love and giving it love. And it's been almost 50 years of it. I can't believe I'm part of an institution like that. So it's just all truly coming from a place of like pure joy and love. I can't
Yeah.
believe I get to be a part of it. It's very cool for me.
Have you started thinking, I mean, like its 50th season is coming up. Have you already like started thinking about like what they might be doing for that, or like how you might be involved?
No,
Okay. You haven't
no,
gotten there yet. Okay.
no. I just finished the monologue. I'm still processing monologue. I do that thing where like after because it's live, like I can't get it out of my head for like a good 2 weeks.
It's amazing. Well, Maya Rudolph, like I said, five-time Emmy winner. Loot is just a fantastic show. You can watch all the episodes on Apple TV Plus, and these other projects are incredible too. And it was great chatting with you about this. Thank you, Maya.
Thank you. Thank you, you too.